Hi, everybody, and happy Mother's Day. I'm Jay. This is just a YouTube channel about my life. Today, if you can read the title, yeah, I'm making my mom's Mother's Day card. I like the end product. In person, it looks more colorful, but when I finish, it's gonna look very light in on the camera. So yeah, but I guess. Well, happy Mother's Day, anyone, all the mothers in the world. Being a mother is, even though I'm a man, I've seen that being a mother is definitely a gift. And, just being able to, just seeing women carry babies for 9 months and then just give birth to them, it is such a beautiful thing to be able, like, the fact that the human body, that God made the human body like that, like for women. It's such a beautiful thing, and it's amazing. It's just very, women are very strong. But yeah, Mother's Day. I think I'm just gonna talk about my mom. Before I was doing this, I was trying to think of, is there any stories that I could tell about me and my mom? I could say one story. I'll never forget this. It was me and my brother. We were we were playing outside with water, and we had buckets. And my brother was like, "Hey, let's do a prank on mom." I'm like, "Okay, okay." So I was in the garage, and I was calling out for my mom. I was like, "Mom, mom, come out here, mom." And my brother was hiding behind a wall. And my mom was coming out. She's like, "What, what, what?" as soon as she came, as soon as she got to the corner part that the my brother was of the wall my brother was hiding behind, he had a bucket and he threw it at her, and he splashed her all over, and she started chasing us down. It was so funny. She got mad, like, of course she did, but then she was calmed down. She's like, "Nah, it's funny. It was a joke." um a lot of other memories I have us are like Disneyland. Yeah, you just they went to Disneyland a lot. We went because during that time it was Disneyland was still fairly affordable, and we were blessed to be able to go because of the fast pass, not fast passes, sorry, for year passes. I could just talk about my mom. She had, bless this woman, because she had to deal with me. I have ADHD, diagnosed, not undiagnosed. And when I was a kid, it was bad. And I'm talking about, like, I could never stay still. Well, I still can't stay still sometimes, but now that I'm older, it's more manageable. But when I was a kid, oh, I couldn't focus. I couldn't stay still. I couldn't, you know, I didn't feel, and you could tell I wasn't like a normal kid. Like all the other kids, you could, like, usually you could tell when, like, they're normal, they act normal. But me, I was a crazy kid. Oh, I was absolutely crazy. And my mom had to not only deal with my brother, who's another story, but she had to deal with me. Being like a crazy kid, just wacky, zany. um, but it's funny because my mom is the reason why I love video games. Because one day at the doctor's, the doctor told him, "Oh, give him something he likes so he could focus at home, and maybe build a skill off it." And the first thing she thought of was video games. It was the first thing she thought of. So I don't know exactly how we got it, but we got a GameCube, and you know it worked. The GameCube worked. I was focused. And so it was less on her to be like, "Oh, okay, he, like, I gotta take care of him." Like, no, I was focused on the game. But still, bless her heart, because I'm gonna tell you something. I also had anger issues, and they stem from her. They stem from her. I'll get more into that later. It's nothing bad, but I'll get into it later. Yeah, I would get extremely angry at the games. I still do today, but I don't as often because I don't like getting angry. I don't. It's a nasty feeling. But yeah, I would get very angry to the point where I would like slap my leg, my thigh really hard, and she had to be like, "Hey, hey, stop doing that." So yeah, those memories are always fun. They, just trying to hide it that I'm angry. It's honestly it's interesting to look back on because you know I kind of thought I was always like my dad, and while I my body is built like my dad, I have my dad's build. Like my mom sometimes think my dad is walking in, or she thinks I'm him. But I look like my mom. I really do look like my mom. And out of me and my older brother, and yeah, out of me and my older brother, I I'm most like my mom. And it's weird to it's so funny to think about because a lot of the things that I kind of do are sort of similar to my mom. Like the way that we talk, the way that we feel about things, the way that we the way that we butt heads a lot towards each other, but that's because of how similar we are. And I've noticed it too. I'm like, yeah, like out of my mom and dad, I'm more like I'm more like I would say competitive. I'll put it in a competitive term because I don't know how else to put it. In a competitive way, like towards my mom. I'm like, for example, for some reason, me and my mom always want to prove that we're right. Always. I'm like her, like that. My dad is a little like that too. But when I try to prove it, I'm like my mom. She will try to prove it to the end of the earth and won't stop. And I'm like that too. I'm like, no, I'm gonna prove it until I'm right. Which I have been stopping. I've been trying to stop that because that's not healthy. But it's that's just how I am, and it's weird because I try to think of if I picked these up from my mom, but I don't think I did, because from my memories growing up, from what I could remember, all I remember is school, video games, and you know making up stories because at that when I was young I used to love making stories. I used to love story writing. And so I try to think of when I would pick up these habits or like not habits, these personality traits from my mom, and I just don't. And it's just I'm naturally like my mom, and I look like her too, aside from the beard and the hair, the facial hair. But like when I have short hair and I shave, I'm not gonna lie, I look more like my mom, and I have her skin tone too. And also like even when I went to middle school, oh bless this woman, man. Yeah, God, the Lord made me difficult to her, and I do regret it a lot because when when I was going through puberty during middle school, I didn't realize it at the time, but now that I'm older, I realize having ADHD kind of makes you it kind of messes your hormones more a little bit. Cause I don't know why, I don't know how. When I was in puberty, my anger issues through the roof. I'm talking about 200. 200%. I don't know why. I don't know how or why it affected me in this way, but it did. Like any little thing would mess up my day. Any little thing would get me angry. It was like at school I was fine. School I'm like okay, yeah, I gotta pay attention. But for some reason, when I was at home, I just couldn't. I would let it out on my parents, being like dismissive towards them, being like angry towards them, and they now when I think about it too, they I don't think they really understood it either, because during that time it was still during the time where the world, the society, I don't like using this word much, but society wasn't aware of these traits and wasn't aware of like, oh, that's why he's acting like this, maybe that's why he's acting like this, you know. And so my dad's from Mexico. He's from Tijuana. Okay, they don't play that. They don't care about this stuff over there. And and I don't mean to dismiss it as like he didn't care. No, he did care. He did, but he didn't really. He also like didn't know how to navigate this and didn't understand that by also getting angry at me getting mad, it just fueled my anger even more. And same, it's the same with my mom. The same thing that happened with my mom. She was, of course, when I would do something bad, she would like get mad at me, and then I would get super angry at her. But then it would also make her more angry, and it's like it would just become this never-ending cycle of anger in the household, and it does suck because that is like that was a hard time. I'm not sure. I think it was just a hard time for all of us because it was a weird transition period. It was 2013. I'll never forget. 2013 was a weird transition period for at least for me. It was weird. I didn't get it. But then when 2014 came, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to like just control myself. I'm still angry, but I'm like, I gotta like learn how to be a human, you know. And again, bless my mother. My mother, she did her best, and honestly, even though like I said, like we would get angry at each other and all that, at the end of the day, she was still there for me. She still supported me, no matter what. And I don't mean to sound like it was an abusive household. No, no. I would never ever say like my house was an abusive household. No, every punishment I had was deserved. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that, okay? Even though it does sound sad, like, oh, it sounds like, oh, you were abused. Like, no, no. I would never, ever, ever in my life say my parents abused me in any way. My mother is an amazing mother. And even though, like I said, we had misunderstandings and all this, she was extremely understanding, and actually she would try to understand me more, like try to be like, I think she was the first one that brought up that I had ADHD, and she was, oh wow, yeah. Speaking about, I remember, I was like, there was something I was doing. I'm like, yeah, I noticed I do that, and she said, it's because you have ADHD, and I was like, is that why I do all these things that I notice, like that are like kind of weird, and daydream? Like daydreaming is the biggest one. I just start staring, and it's like apparently that's a really really big ADHD thing to do. And I was like, wow. And yeah, she told me. I was like, whoa, like I didn't even. Now I have something like to tell people why I'm like this in case they ask. Because before that, I didn't know what to tell people. Yeah, and then we got to high school. It got better. I would say it got better. There were a lot of moments where my like what's it called, like hormonal teenage anger was still there. Um, I don't. There's one moment I don't want to talk about it. It's not bad, but it is the moment that made me. It was a moment that made me go like, yeah, I can't let this anger control me. And I felt really bad about it afterwards too. So yeah, this was during a time where she knew that I was going through some stuff. So, but again, bless. I'm gonna keep saying it. Bless my mother's heart, because during like, I think, yeah, during this got worse over time, but during the whole duration of high school, I was super negative. I was a very negative person, especially towards the end. Like if by chance, like I make a video where I'm talking with my, my closest friends about how I was during the end of high school, they will tell you, yeah, I was, I was just not a good person. I was not happy, and it sucked because as a mom, obviously I'm never gonna experience being a mother because I'm a man. But I wouldn't even know how she felt or thought about me being like that. And, like, sometimes getting angry at her. But during that time, every Mother's Day and her birthday, I made sure to make a card. I did. I made sure I always made her a card, because I think there was one birthday I missed it, and she got sad, and I was like, I'm never missing another one. I told myself, I'm like, I'm either gonna get her a gift, or I'm gonna make a card, or maybe both. And I always did. I always did. Last year, though, I will say, last year, I didn't make her a card, but I got her a gift. I got her a Mother's Day gift and a birthday gift. So, Mom, if you see this, don't say don't ever say I didn't give you anything. Well, yeah, and then since since I don't have much time here, I'll cut it to Mom. If you see this, just know you're an amazing mom. I know I don't say it as often because I'm just I can't I don't know why I can't bring myself to say it in person because I get very like nervous. But you're an amazing mother, and I wouldn't have it, and I would never ever choose another person to be my mom. I love you, Mom. All right, I'll let this video finish. Have a good day.